Okay, so now I'm gonna start recording. And today is April 27th, right? And the last day of class, the last day of class will be May 16th. So which means actually we have more than 2 weeks to go, but we finish everything. And you can see in the past, we kind of like very, slow, right? We can take time to finish everything. So I know most of you guys already finished everything, right? You guys, I think according to what I saw, I see some students even complete chapter 8 project. So I think as I mentioned before, we're gonna utilize the last 3 weeks instead of just use those time to do your project, because I do know some of you guys even finished the final project already. I did receive 2 submission already. Okay. Also, by the way, the final project rubric is online under the final project folder, so you can search. And last time I print out all the copies, and I have 1 extra, as you can see here. So which means if you, as long as you can have all this content, you can get 100. A splash window, a splash form, which is 5 point. A main form with a menu, which is 20 point. Error message box, 20 point. If else statement or switch case or select case, 20 point, or at least 1 loop. Do while, for each, for next. So that is 20 points. And also correct logic, which means nothing wrong. And also documentation. Okay. Documentation, you can write a Word document. Okay, tell me, you can look at the example of document of every case study after every chapter. And after every chapter, all the cases, they have this, the first part will be the documentation and tell you what is required, what is steps, that is this. So you should, if you have time to do that. Okay, and I already received and graded 2 final exam or final project already. In the past, I always think probably like it's mine, the way I teach probably way too slow, because every time we finish like quite early. So from now on, I told you, from this semester, I'm going to try to teach chapter 8, but it still will be actual credit. Okay, so if you don't want to do that chapter 8, I understand. If you want to learn something new, which will help you study in the future, you can follow me. So we're going to use 3 classes to cover chapter 8. So today we do the user interface. So tomorrow, Monday and Wednesday next week, we will just cover the coding part. So that will be, for this semester, it will be actual credit. Next time, now if I feel like everybody learned something, I'm going to put it in the requirement, because as you know, we didn't cover much for the past, how many, 16 or 15 weeks, because we don't have the final exam, we don't have midterm exam, right? We have the midterm project. So we didn't waste time to take test. That is why, a lot of you guys finish everything early. But I have to point out, I do have quite a few students right here, did not really follow my lecture and did not really follow the book. I give you enough freedom. If you don't really want follow my lecture, it's fine. As long as you know how to do the work, as long as you can give me the work, I'll be happy. But from what I observe, some people just did not really, follow the book, did not really follow my lecture. And if you submit your homework late, I have to grade late, because I want to grade people who submit homework on time. That is why I graded some late submission of the midterm, like in the weekend, which is actually not good. Okay, so this is probably the easiest programming language in computer science, but it is still very, very useful. And also a lot of places, they still use VB. As I told you guys, I have friends who work in the healthcare, like hospitals, they still use VB. And also the gas company. Now Delta, BP, my friends work there, they also still use some of the program still use VB because it's easy to develop user interface and to manage the data. So it's still very popular. Now, even though it's not as popular as Java or Python, but still, if you're very good at VB, now you will be able to find a job. Okay, so don't think like it's too easy. Okay, and also everything we learn in this semester will benefit your study. Okay, because everything will be similar. Like how to define variables, why we define variable in different type, right? Why is, in the future you won't see DIM dimension. Okay, just pretend you already know. Every type they occupy different memory space, right? So you don't have to use DIM, just do int character or int whatever, something. Now, so in the past we have learned loop, right? We have quite a lot of loop. For next, do while, and in the chapter 8, we're gonna learn loop again. So I suppose you probably will learn Java next semester, right? So we have two Java classes, three Java classes next semester. Now CSP 127, Java 1, CSP 128, Java 2, and also ComSci 1, which is a CSP, another number. Okay. The thing is, we're gonna switch. We're gonna have the computer science major for you guys for the associate degree of computer science. So we're gonna learn combine CSP 127, 128 together as a new ComSci 2. ComSci 1 is a Python class. So everything you learn is here. Kind of I can apply this. All the other languages will have same idea, looping, because everything is from your everyday life. Okay, every day of your life you make choices, which is the if-else statement or switch statement or select case. Okay, those are make choices. And every day of your life you probably have to repeat doing something, right? Every Monday, Wednesday you come here to my class. It's like a loop, right? If it's Monday, Wednesday, you come here until the end of the day, which is May 16th. So also on the May 16th, which is the last day of today's class, last day of this class, now you should come here. Everybody required to come here to do the presentation. If you don't do the presentation, then your final project will not have this 20%. So the 20% are greater from your presentation. Now, okay, you have to make sure come here, not only for the coding part you give to me, but also on May 16th. Now everybody need to show up and show me your final project. Not show me, show everybody. Okay, I told you before, I'm supposed to have the jury duty on May 16th, and I deferred to July, which is granted. So I have time for you guys. So please be here. So if you don't, even if you're not here, then I'm gonna take points from you. You won't get an A from this class. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, I do have a student who's very good in my other class, but he forgot to show up in the last class, which is you have to do presentation. So he couldn't get an A because 20% of you should do that. But so anyway, okay. As a requirement, everybody should show up. And I see some of you guys didn't show up because some student already finished chapter 8. Even if you finish chapter 8, you still have to show up. Okay. And I want to hear some feedback from you. Now, at the end of the semester, you should tell me whether you want, you suggest to keep the chapter 8 as optional, or you want to make it required for the future student. Because I was thinking about this for the past several years. Okay, because every time we kind of end up early. Okay, maybe at the beginning of May we have 2 extra weeks of doing nothing. I should not say nothing, just do the hands-on work. But actually, we don't need to have this much time. That's why. So this time I'm gonna try to teach you chapter 8, and I want to hear some feedback from you guys. So maybe later I'm gonna create a Google form to ask your opinion. Okay. So that's the thing. So if you look at the Blackboard, and you should see Module 8 is actual credit. So I do not require you to do the case study. So all I require you will be the chapter project. Okay, if you go to the chapter 8 homework, it will be only the chapter project. Okay, and a quiz. You don't have to do the case study. Okay. Now in chapter 8, we're gonna learn two important things. Actually, one of the most important thing is array. We're gonna learn array, and also we're gonna learn how to process array data, how to define arrays, and how to read data from the files, and how to put data into the files. Okay, so this one I give you at least maybe I think 15 actual point, but you should do the quizzes also. Okay, so everything together, I'll give you actual 15 points regarding towards your what do you say, towards your final grades. Okay, and also in the future, I have to think maybe I'm gonna make my future student to do the case study, but not you guys. So I want to hear some feedback from you regarding to add the chapter 8 to the requirement. And also, if you notice, if you check your email, now you should receive an email from school on Monday regarding to the course evaluation. So if you take more than one classes, okay, so you will receive an email contains all the course evaluation link. Okay, so you can complete the course evaluation. Now, please spend some time to do the course evaluation. Okay, you know, I told you guys in the past 2 years, ever since pandemic, the course evaluation become a problem because I don't have much student to finish. Okay, so you know, if I have less than 6 people finish this course evaluation, that is kind of invalid. So I hope you guys can help me to to get some evaluations. Okay. Now before we start the class, because chapter 8 is quite important. Okay, a lot of content, but you do know in the future, for all the other languages, we always have array idea. Okay, array or array list or list is a very, very popular idea, because what is array or what is list or what is array list? Those are the name of collections. So if you go to the library, you're gonna see a lot of books, right? In the library, you have millions of books in RCC library. Or if you go to your local library, they have a lot of books. Even for your bookshelf, okay? I believe everybody have your bookshelf, right? On your bookshelf, you have at least maybe like 10 or 20 books, or maybe more than 20 books. So you have this book collection. If you really don't have a books collection, think about your toys collection, think about your magazine collection. You must have some collections, right? Whatever collection you like, you might collect something, even stamps, okay? Or even something, or video games, okay? So you might have collections, right? Everybody have collections. So how to handle those collections in our programming language? Now we have to introduce you the idea of an array. Or later on, you can say array list or list. Okay, so those are very similar, but there still be a little bit difference among the 3 of collections. So we're gonna learn array in chapter 8. So everything you learn in this chapter 8 about array will apply in all the other languages. Okay, because this is every day of our life. We try to invent computer programming, right? High-level language to help us to solve real life problem, right? In our everyday life problems. So we do have two kind of collections. So if we put a bunch of data, which is the same type together, we can have collections, right? Let's look at this. In this classroom, we have collection of computers, right? We have collection of laptops. Now, so all these objects, they are the same type, right? Probably we have different brand, right? We have different brand, different manufacturer years, right? And also maybe different memory space, different hardware. Despite all those difference, but we have this same object. So you can put all the object together, as a collection, as an array, or you can just simply put it like a data type together. 1, 2, 3, 4 data type, you know, anything. So if you want me to give you examples of array, I can give you many non-stop, like all the courses you take in RCC, right? If you have been in RCC for at least 1 semester, now you will have a bunch of courses, right? All these courses, like under your register system, that will be your collection array. So how to handle this array? Okay, keep in mind, first of all, array is the same type of data put together. Then how do we handle each type, each number, each item? Okay, if you ever go to library, you know, for every book in the library, they have this barcode, right? A reference number, you can call it. You know, if you borrow an old book, which is like 20 years ago, they always have a reference number on the back of your book. But nowadays, they turn to the barcode. So you can just scan and they just have all this computer system have all the information. So in order to locate the items in this collection, so we need idea of index. And normally, the index number are always from 0. Okay, so we can say item 0, item 1, item 2, item 3. This is the same idea in other languages. Okay, so if we have array, then we will have the index number inside of the bracket to help us identify or locate the items. So you can see here. Now, first of all, this is as a big topic. Okay, so we can just see. So this is first time I use a PowerPoint. This is first time I use a PowerPoint. I just give you like the brief idea of what is chapter 8. Okay, so initialize an array. Initialize array with default value. So which means you can declare array and you can declare array with a value. So which you assign the initial value immediately. Okay, and also you can access the array element by using a loop. Now, because when we talk about collection, we might have multiple items. Okay, those items can be just any data type, like an integer, character, or string, or whatever, or can be object. Okay, we can have objects inside of our array, like the books, the laptop, the pen in your pencil box. So all kinds of things. Now, in order to access every element, I need to use a loop. So besides all the loops we have learned before, for next, do while, do not until, so we learn in chapter 6, right? We're gonna learn a very special one called for each. It is a simplified version of for loop, which means for each element inside of this collection, I am going to repeat doing this action. Okay, so we're gonna learn that in chapter 8. So in Java and C++, we will have the same for each. I should not say for the same, similar. Okay, 90% of same, 90% of same. And here, a very interesting thing about this array in VB is you can redefine your array. So maybe this time, at the beginning of the program, you might define array for only 5 elements. But somehow you think, okay, probably 5 elements is not enough. I want to have more collections, right? So I can redefine my collection. Okay, so maybe like, right now you have 10 clothes, but you want to have more clothes, right? All the clothes, in your closet can be a collection, right? So you might think, okay, I want to buy more clothes. So I'm going to redefine my closet. Okay, instead of which only handle 10 clothes, I can have 20 clothes or something. So which is now one unique thing in VB. I can use a redefine to define the size. So generally speaking, if we declare array, we always have to tell the computer how many maximum size or capacity of this array is. Okay, so the memory can locate how many memory space associated with. Because think about it, if I want to declare an integer type of array, okay, which means each element inside of this array should be integer. But you do know for every integer, how many memory space you have to occupy? 4 bytes. Okay, so which means you're gonna have to tell the compiler how many integer you will have in this collection. Now, if I have 5 collection, the compiler will, I kind of isolate or assign 5 times 4 memory space to this array. Now, if I have 10 integer in this collection, the 10 times 4 assigned to that. Okay, but so right now we're learning arrays by using the basic type. But in the future, you will know a lot of time your array or your collections will be object, because most of the time in our everyday life, in our real world, the collection will be object, like the pencils in your pencil box, the clothes in your closet, the courses you've taken so far, or the computers you have, or the cell phones you have so far. So those, all the things, all the video games you have, you collect. So they always be objects. But first, we use the basic type to help you understand the basic idea. Then later on, you can control the object. Same idea, because the fundamental thing is the same. Okay. So everything you learn in VB will apply for your Java study or your Python study. Okay. Next one is, so we're going to define, determine the number of elements in array using the length command. Okay, so if you have an existing array, how do you know how many elements inside? We can use dot length. Okay, in the array, we have some built-in functions which allow us to use dot size, dot length. Just tell you how many elements inside. Okay, then we can initialize two-dimensional array, which is also popular. Okay, so for example, if in the register office, now all the record in the register office, or regarding to the student record, they are two-dimensional array. So they have your name and maybe your GPA so far, right? It's like a two-dimensional array. Okay, so also we have a lot of example in our everyday life, like the books you borrow from library, and which day is due date. So together they can be like a 2-dimension. You might have quite a few books from the library, and they have separate due date. So you can have an array regarding to that. Okay, so this is like after we have learned all this basic programming ideas, so we're gonna start to learn something a little bit more challenging. Collection. Okay, it's a collection idea. And also here, besides array, we're gonna learn how to read a text file. Now the text file are under your data file folder. So if I look at my desktop where I save it on my desktop, and in a Spring. Oh, well, not here. So course. So right here. Now you should find those files. This TXT file. So those are the data files we should supposed to read. So if you see the inventory one, so this you can see here. So those are data so we're gonna input from here to our program. So we're gonna learn how to input data from here, and also we're gonna learn how to write to a text. So input and output from a file. Okay, input from the file and output to write on these files, and then we can, for this chapter 8, it's called depletion. Okay, so I'm gonna calculate depletion. Now, what is depletion? Now, if you ever done your tax, the last 2 weeks ago, we have a tax, right? I mean, like last Monday, actually, it's last Monday, we did tax, right? So if you have any, like if your parents or you have some like own some house or own something, or your car, you have depreciation value, so which is like tax deductible. So if you have a car, or you drive a car, so every year your car's value will be decreased. That is kind of depreciation value, okay, for the tax purpose. Then we can use a multi-form object. So in this chapter, we're gonna have 2 forms. Then also we can access variable object on the other form. So once we have, for this project, we're gonna have to create 2 forms, and they can interact, work together. So that's the objective for the next 3 classes. Okay. So in chapter 8, as you can see, we're gonna do this. Now into this class, we're gonna try to finish the user interface, this one here. Okay. Then you can see here, this is a burger food truck. So we're gonna have a label, another label, this box, and a group box. Group box we learned in the chapter 5, which we calculate the floor price, right? You choose from these buttons, like different floor, you have different price, and you have picture, you have button, then you have this another label, the result label. I mean the label. This is label, and sorry. So you have 4 more list box, and with the present years, this label. So we're gonna do that together, step by step. Okay, so today's work. Then this data are from the text file I just showed you. Okay, so probably it will be like a next Wednesday class. Okay, so maybe next Monday we are not going to cover that part. Then, as you can see, array. What is the array? Okay, I know some of you guys not care about this content, but it is very, very useful, especially if you learn other languages. Okay, every other high-level language have this idea. You can see an array variable is simply a variable that can store more than one value. So this PowerPoint actually is in here. Okay, so right here. So you don't have to worry about the PowerPoint. It's right here. Okay. So it's a variable we can contain more than one value. You can think like the collection. Okay. Generally speaking, it's a collection. Array is a simple collection. So each individual in array contains a value. It's called an element. So we have all the elements, they have the same type. They have to be the same type. Either they are all same type of object or they are same type of data type. Okay, integer, decimal, what else? Characters, Boolean, can be, as long as the collection is same type. Okay. Then array provide access to data by using a numeric index or subscript. We should just call index instead of subscript, because all the other languages is called as index to identify each element in the array. Now here comes one thing. Now in the future, now if you learn Java, you will know. Now if I teach your Java, I will have one special content regarding to the element and the index. So there's a difference between an element and an index. Element and an individual item in the array, right? But how do you access each element inside the array? We use index number to help us locate. So suppose this is collection. Now we use a bracket. Now inside a bracket, we have numbers. This numbers start from 0. So the first element should have index 0. The second element should have index 1. Third element will have index 2. So your index is always the element number minus 1. Okay, that is the rule between element and the index. Okay, so the first element has index 0. The second element have index 1. The third element have index 2. So fourth one will have 3. So the index number is the element number minus 1. So you can see the relationship It's very important because people cannot confuse. Okay, no matter what language you learn, the index number will always start from 0. So you can see here. Wait a second. Okay, I'm gonna show you slides. Show here. Okay, how do I close it? Okay. Okay. This is display setting. Okay, I don't know how to make this. Just make it small. Okay, so you can see here, introduce the array. So you can see right now, dimension define this variable int variable. So if you use integer, start with int as a prefix. Int Baker reservation as index integer equal to 4. The int Lopez reservation as index equal to 5, and the int bake reservation as integers 12. So this is not like it is not an array. Just say if you don't use array, then you have to declare variables separately. But you do know they are all integer type. So you can see if you don't define array, then you're gonna declare this 5 different integer variables and assign value. Also same thing as here, the show size. Okay, so what we will do is we can have like the parallel array. Okay, this is probably a little bit hard for you. Now, what is a parallel array? Back to the previous one. Do I have it? Okay, previous one. So this is previous one. Wait a second. Okay. I think okay. So right here, now you can see here. Suppose what the project mean? Not this chapter project. Okay. Suppose this is the example of the array is. Now you're supposed to have deeper number for each person reservation, and you want to have the size, like the baker shoe size is 9, Lopez size is 11.5, Bach size is 6, Chen size is 7.5, etc. So everybody have the show size, but we can link them together. Okay, so we can have this. Oh, wait a second. So we can initialize, declare a variable and then initialize. See how we declare the array. If you see this one and compare the previous one, you're gonna see the big difference. Then from there, we can tell whether this is a regular integer or whether it's an array. If you compare this declare with the previous one, what is the big difference? If you look at the previous one, that is a regular variable declaration, right? The variable name as integer equal to 4. But you do know we don't have to give provide 4, right? We don't have to initialize it. We can just say dim int Baker reservation as integer. We do not have to provide 4. So which means, look at this one. What is the difference of declare array? So they have a parenthesis with a number inside. It is a big difference. So how can we tell that is a collection, or how can we tell that is array? By looking at this parenthesis 300. So if you see the parenthesis with number, you know that is a collection. And the highest index number is 300. So in the parenthesis, we provide the highest index number. So which means this int reservation can occupy 301 element from 0 to 300. Now here is one thing. So in the Visual Basic, when we define our array here, like in a Visual Basic, okay, we have int reservations 300. So this 300 is the maximum index number. Okay, so you can see the highest max numbers. So our element will have index number from 0 to 300, which is totally 301 element. But if you study other languages next semester or in the future, you will know it's a little bit slightly different. Now in Java, now if I use this, it will tell you instead of the highest index number, that is like the maximum element it's supposed to have. Okay, so in other languages, it's a slightly different. So other language is not the highest number index anymore. It is will be the maximum element you can contain in the collection. So if I write down as a, like int array collection parentheses 300, that means I can only contain 300 elements in the collection. That is how you define array in Java, just int, and the collection name, then bracket the number. But here, it's the highest index number. So we have that. And we define integer. So which means for every element in this collection should be an integer type. Okay. We use integer as an example, but in every day of your life, your collection can be anything. Can be integer, can be decimal, can be Boolean, can be objects like the books, the stamps, the laptops. So you can see here, now it's going to introduce this idea of parallel array. As you can see here, so previously we know we have for different people, we have different reservation. So you can see here, dim string name as string, we have Baker, Lopez, Bach, Chen, Tyrrell, right? And they have different reservation number. So 4, 5, 12, 2, 8. So here comes the idea of a parallel array. Now, what is parallel array? This means they are corresponding to each other. Now, they will have exactly the same size. Okay, for 2 parallel array, you can have more than 2. If you want to have 3 parallel array or 4 parallel array, for all the parallel array, they will have exact same amount. Okay, so you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. This one also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. They will have exact same amount of elements. They don't have to be the same type, as long as they have same amount and they can represent some kind of relationship corresponding to. See, the first element is in here, corresponding to the first element in here. So which means Baker will have 4 reservation. Lopez will be 5. Bach will be 12. Chen will be 2. And Tyrrell will be 8. So we can have parallel arrays to represent the relationship. Like, if you work in the future, if you find a job, your HR might have a parallel array for you, like a array for every employee name, then array for each employee is like 6 days. Okay, because everybody will have, at the beginning of each year, you have the same amount of 6 days. But some of you guys might use some of 6 days, some of you might not use 6 days, right? If you use the 6 days, you take it off from record. So you can see here, it is parallel arrays quite also we can utilize every day of life, right? Your employee and your employee name or associated with your employee ID, associated with how much sick day you have, so how much vacation days you have, etc. Or which day you're off. Okay. So we might have multiple parallel array together. Okay. So you can see here, parallel array store related data in 2 or more arrays. So you can see here, if I dim string of isolate parenthesis 5, that means I can store 6 elements. Okay, whatever in the parenthesis is the maximum index, but keep in mind your index start from 0. So you can see, then you can declare or you assign the value, like after you declare the whole things. So you can see here, we have string asterisk 0, football, which is the first element is football. The second one is soccer, etc. until the last one is hockey. Okay, initialize that. Or you can put all the value in the parentheses, in the curly bracket, right? So like dim string isolate 5 as string equal to curly bracket, football, soccer, lacrosse, baseball, tennis, and hockey. So you can assign the value individually, or you can assign the value all together as a group. Either way is fine. So I'm going to stop it here actually, because I haven't started the user interface yet. So when we initialize our array, sometimes if you don't initialize, it happens. Sometimes, we have a collection, but I forgot to initialize. Now what happens is they always will have some kind of default value, okay? In other languages, they always also have some kind of a system setting default value. For the integers, it's 0. For the decimals, it's 0.0. For anything else, it's, they have like default value. We have same thing happening in VB. For all numeric data type, it will be 0. For string type, it's always no. And for Boolean type, it's false. Same idea. Okay, the compiler, if compiler do not see you assign new value, it will automatically assign for you. Okay, so I'm going to stop it here, which is side 11. Okay, otherwise I will continue. I will not be able to finish the user interface. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to say I did slides 11 of 50. I'm going to continue this next class. Okay. So I'm going to stop right here, and we can start to do our user interface. Okay. So if you want, you can do the interface with me. Okay. To practice a little bit more. Okay. Practice make perfect. Okay. Keep in mind your practice always make perfect. So we just right now, what is this time? We have yes, thank you. We have like 15 minutes. So I'm not sure how much user interface I can finish. So we have 2 forms. So we're gonna try to finish this one. We're gonna try to finish this one today. Okay. Now let's start. So go to open the VB. Okay, this is a Visual Studio 2019. So you can create a new project. You can do it from here, okay? Create a new project. It is this is my new, I told you this is my new laptop from school. So I have 2019 right here. So you choose this, you're gonna choose the Visual Basic. Okay, choose Visual Basic. Okay, I already have this one here, so I can use this. But if you don't have this one on your screen, you can just scroll down to find out. Okay, so this is Visual Windows form app dot right here. Okay, this is the one you're supposed to use. You can choose from here, or you can choose this one. Either way is fine. Okay, use this one or this one. Is this one? I'm gonna choose this next. And I tell you the project name. So I'm gonna put the project name, which will be depression. Okay. If you ever done text before, you will know depression. Okay. The only time I consider about depression is like I do my text on the trouble text. I always ask you like your car depression. Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying depression, like I'm sad, not depression.
Okay, thank you. So depression, yes, it's the decrease value. Yes. Yeah, sorry. So we have the location. Let's find locations. So if you want, you can choose this. So for all if you don't modify the location, it's always here. But if you don't want to be here because probably don't know. I think you have to go to the user, you have to go to your name under the source, on the repos. It always is, okay, that is like by default, no matter what computer you use, by the setting of your VB, it always be there. So you can, but you can choose. Okay, I'm gonna choose under my own desktop, under my own, where's my desktop? Right here. Spring 2022, this one. So I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, choose this one. This is the location. This is know where I'm here. Okay, so I'm click create. So I once I'm done, I click create. It will automatically create an empty form for me. Okay, so I'm gonna click. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen right here. So this is what we have. Okay, we have this form 1, and you do know we don't like form 1, so we can right click your mouse and click rename. So we're gonna have to change a different name. For each forms, we're gonna start with a prefix FRM, right? Prefix. So it's a FRM depression DEPRECIATH. Yeah, okay, so it's you will name renaming a file. Would you like to perform the rename in the project or reference? Yes. So we change the name. It look like this. And if you want, you can restart this. You know, if you see this yellow bar as I have, so you can restart the Visual Studio with 100% scaling. Okay. Because what happens is, if you don't restart, then later on when you do when you resize your form, you might see something not very good, right? So you can restart it to make it 100%. It will be easier for us to control everything. But we have this. Now, I'll give you minutes to do so. As you can see here, we still have form 1 on the top. Now, what is this? It's a text property. Oh, do they have a food truck here? Oh, they have food truck today. Look at this. They have a new food truck here. So maybe today you're gonna have. Oh, I heard about something about this. Like,
emailed about it earlier this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. So last week I have a meeting. They said like the first 500 people, first 50 people have something for free, right?
Yeah, they get free.
Oh, good. Okay, we need some food truck. Even this morning, I talked to my colleagues. I said, the hunks place, everything is so expensive.
Yeah.
Even for us, we have salary. We already think everything is too expensive. But for you guys, probably it's a ridiculous price, right? We need something like that to provide a cheaper or reasonable food for you guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, when you try to write a VB project, you always need to change the name. I don't like any form1.vb or just form 1 on the top of the title, right? You have to change. How do you change it? Go to the text property. So go to the text property. So instead of form 1 right here, you're gonna change text. So the text property of your form appear on the top corner, right? As a title. So it is compute depression by method. Oh, just come here. What's your name?
Jasmine.
Oh, Jasmine. Okay. Okay. So we have this. Now we're gonna create using. Okay, we have to create user interface. Now we have to change the size. Regarding to this, we have to change the size of this form to 700/470 size, which is right here. So we're gonna have to make 700/470, which is this one. Now that is why I have to restart this to 100% scaling. Okay, I can close the output window to look better. So this is what we have. We have 700, 470. Okay, now we modify the size. Now, after we modify the size, now we're gonna change the back color, okay, to white. So we go up. As you know, I always make my property alphabetic order. So now start with B, so it's up. So click that. But you will change the back color to white. So under the web, you're gonna change to white. As you can see, it immediately become white. So your back color will be white. Now we need to do one more thing, but right now we do not have the button yet. So later on, after we add button, then we can go here to change the accept button to the only button we have in this user interface. So that is the form. So we're gonna add more content. So if you notice, we need a menu. To get a menu, we have to take the toolbox. So we go to the view, and where's my toolbox? My toolbox, where's my, right here. So you can see, if you don't see toolbox, all you have to do is go to the view, and you can get the toolbox out of Solution Explorer out of the property out, because it's quite common. Some people probably mistakenly take off the toolbox or the property box. So you can find all of this under the view, So you can see here, you can have Server Explorer, Task Explorer, Solution Explorer, and everything you want. Okay. So we want to have a menu. Okay, keep in mind, you need to have a menu in your final project. Tricia, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Let's see here. So we're gonna do that. So now in the future, now it's already too late to mention this. In the future, I highly recommend you do not use a textbook on your cell phone or tablet. Okay, because who knows what they're doing. So we're gonna go to the menu strip. So we go down, and you can see here we have this menu strip. So we can modify, or you can say we can add a menu. Drag the menu strip, drag is right here. See, you can drag, choose the menu strip right here. Keep in mind, you need the menu strip on your final project. So your menu strip can have, what do you say, at least 3 things, right? On like the chapter 6, or if you want, you can have more, but you do have to do the function, but add function to that. So here we're gonna add file, and you're gonna click here to add display inventory. And you know, if you want to have some underline or just a hotkey, you can use it this, right? Display, something like this, but you don't need to. Okay, this question didn't have the underlines, so you can just start display inventory. And then we have this. We have clear. Then we have exit. No, you see how easy it is to add a menu, right? But in order to, better control those, or just add the, what do you say, functions later, we're gonna have to change the name. We have to provide name for each menu functions here. So if I click the file, we have to go to the name part. So instead of file to strip menu items, we're gonna provide a name. We're gonna provide a better name, MNU file. Okay. So if it's a menu tool, then it starts with prefix MNU. So you go to the, after you add all these small things inside of your menu strip, you have to provide name. The first name you provide will be MNU file. After you've done that, you go to the display inventory, you click that and double click your name. And then we're going to change the name as a MNU display. So for those menus, so all you have to do is you modify the name. You don't have to do anything else, just the name. Okay. I think next week will be a club fest, right? So you can participate also. They should have some fun. So they always have a free food and the games. We're gonna click the clear button and you're gonna choose MNU clear. Then we move on to exit here. So we're gonna double click and we do the MNU exit. So, you know, you have those menu strips, which means you will have to have functions for each of them. So you should have function later on, you should have function for display inventory, another function for declare, another function to exit. So keep in mind, display inventory name is MNU display. Clear name is MNU clear. The next one is MNU exit. So that is the menu strip. Now, if you finish, then we're gonna do next. We're gonna add a picture box, but you do know, according to this one, as you can see here, we have a picture. Okay, so we're gonna do this one first, then we add all the other content. Okay. So next thing we do is we're gonna add a picture box. Okay. So go to the toolbox, you're gonna find a picture box. You're gonna drag it right here. Okay, this is a picture box. So you just drag the picture box from the toolbox to here. Now before we do anything, before we really insert picture, I want to resize. Okay, first of all, we're gonna change the name, then we resize it. Okay. So you drag the picture box to here. John, you sleep again? You don't want to follow my instruction? So we're gonna have to change the name. So after you have that, then it's always good to know all this, everything we did so far. I mean, otherwise, why you waste your time? You know, you pay the tuition fee to come here. So please do something useful. So we have PIC, picture box. We start with a PIC as a prefix. So you can see here. Now, in order to make everything meaningful, you always provide corresponding prefix. I mean, at the beginning of each variable name or each object name. So PIC for picture, LB label, if you see LBL, that's a label. If you see LST, you know that is a list. If you see button, which is BTN, right? They always have give you a name. So this one is picture truck. Okay, so we have picture track here. Now, before I insert picture, I'm going to resize first. Okay, I'm going to resize, go to the size part. So you can see right now it's 100,50. So we're going to make it a 193,223. So your picture should look like this big. 193,223. So we're gonna have to insert picture. So once you resize it, your picture size should be this, but we're gonna have to import the picture. Okay, I know everybody know how to do that because this is not your first time, right? We did that already. So we have image, click image, property, click this dot. We have those, and you can choose local resource, right, from your data file folder, and click import. Okay, so I have to go to my course. Where's my course? Not this one. My document, chapter 8. So which is this one? Okay, so we have three pictures under that. Some pictures are for your case studies. So this one, you can see that's the picture you're supposed to choose. Now I'm gonna choose. Okay, so we have this. As you can see, this picture is definitely smaller than the size. So don't worry, we have to do what? Stretch, right? This is not first time you use that. We'll use that for our lattice selection. So we go to image. It's called size mode. Okay, under the size, you see the property name size mode. So what you do is you click this button, and you will see a choice called stretch image. The stretch image tells you can make the image adjust at the size of this picture box. Okay, so that's it. So you have the picture, your picture ready. Even if you don't want to do the work with me, you should just still need to pay attention because it will benefit your future study. Okay, Maya and Hunter. You can do something else later. Okay. Let's see this. So we did the picture box. So we're gonna add the label title. So we're gonna have to compare the final result. It should look like this. So we have to do this label first, right? Chef, shark, burger, food truck. So we go to this one. We're gonna drag our label to here. So this is the label. Okay, as you can see, label 1. So what we will do is we are going to change the name, change the text, change the font, change the color, right? So we can have this big red letters. So for the label 1, we are going to change our, start from the first part. Label 1. So we don't want label 1. We want name is LBL food. And also, by the way, if you have finished final project, you can start to give to me. I already received some of the project. And keep in mind, you have to show up on Monday 16th to present your project to everybody here. I mean, to show your project. So everybody can learn from everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna have, okay, so we have the text, okay, but somehow, for some reason, it does not have the, tell you like what is color and what is color and what is font. So after we have the name change, we go to the text property to change the text, which is chef, shark, burger, food. We click enter. It shows you this. So you can see everything we display on our user interface are string type. That is why if you get an input from user, you have to convert to string so you can display. Oh, sorry. If you get the input from user, you have to convert to integer, right? But if you calculate the result, your result have to convert to string to display on the user interface. Okay, so everything you see on the user interface should be like string type. So that's why you always need to convert to integer, from integer convert to string. Okay, now we have this. Now we have to change the font and change the size. Change font and the color. So font is font. Font color is full color. So go to click here. But since it didn't tell us, it did not tell us what is the font. We just use the existing font. We can make it a bold, right? Can make it like size 14. Is size 14 too big? No. So let's try to size 14. Okay, and click OK. Probably I should make it bigger. So size 14 is probably not big enough. I'm gonna make it a 16. Okay, this one. Maybe I should make it bigger, but it's fine. I'll leave it like that. So we have food truck. Okay. Then we are going to change the font color. What is font color? The text color, the font color. So the font color, although the book didn't tell us color, so based on the bottom color, I think should be orange red. Okay, so we're gonna find under the web. Do I have orange red? Right here. So it's supposed to be orange red. Okay. So at this point, it is what it is, like this. But if we have enough space later, we can go back to make the title much bigger. But I think it's probably not 16, it should be maybe 18 or 20. If we look at the book. But somehow the book didn't tell us what is this. So we just leave like that. Then the next thing is we're gonna add a label. So we can see here, the existing one, the result right here, we have a label, and underneath we have a list. Then we have a group box. So we're gonna do these three things for the next 5 minutes. Then we have button. Okay, now we're gonna do that. So we are going to create a label. Label is the easiest one, right? Label is easiest. Just drag it right here. Okay, so we can, adjust the location later. We can move around all these tools. So we have label 1 here. Now regarding, we have to change the name. We don't want label 1. So the name we are going to select is called LBL. Select item. LBL select item. We have the name, LBL select item. So you can see, no matter what language you use, you're not supposed to provide a variable name or any name as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or X, Y, Z, right? You cannot do that. Just always provide a meaningful name. I should not say you cannot do that, because if you really do that, it will not show you any mistake. It was still wrong, but it's not user-friendly code. So in order to have user-friendly code, you always need to provide meaningful name. Okay, if we don't want to see any just single letters A, B, C, D, F, G involved. Okay, for any language or for any programming language. So we have this LBL select item. Then we're gonna change the text. Then we change the size, font, and color. The text we're gonna type, instead of label 1, we do select inventory items. With a comma. Okay, don't forget comma. So I click enter, and you should have this. But do know we have to change the size and the font. So after you type the text, which is select inventory items, column, then we go to the top to change the font. Click this dot, dot, dot. So I'm gonna open this pop-up window, right? So still be the same Microsoft Sans Safari, and it should be bold. And should be 10, size 10. Okay, so later on, you know, actually later on is you will always, the other labels have the same, you know, Microsoft Sans Safari bold 10. So we click OK. So we have that. It's look like this. But it's, you know, it's just black. So we have to change the font color. So go to the font color right here. I'm gonna change the font color to gray. So you don't want black, you want gray. So go to the web. So far, all the colors we want are under the web category. So under the web category, I'm gonna choose gray. So it looks like this. Okay, so next one, we're gonna add the list box. Okay, so we're gonna drag a list box from toolbox. So we're gonna go to the list box, LST list box, because it's a list. So later on, we can import data to this list right here. So this list box, we'll drag a list box here. So we can change the name. LST inventory ID. Also, lowercase d. Guys, if you want to take some classes in the summer, I do have a summer 2 HTML, which is from June 1st to August 1st, which is like a 2 months. The months of June and July, we will meet every Monday and Wednesday on Zoom, okay, from 9 to 12:40. So I will have use the same structure as this class. So we will have a midterm project and a final project, which will have, you know, everything we learn at the time. So we have a list inventory ID, and then we're going to change the font and the size. At this point, although we don't have data because we have not imported yet. So only after you run the code, it will import and it will show you data. So we have the name, list inventory ID. Then we're gonna have the font, the font should be same thing. The font should be bold 10. Okay, the font you don't have to change it. It's a default Microsoft Sans Serif, and it's bold. Sorry, bold. bold 10. Then you click OK. So, you know, in the future, if you learn the HTML, you will know we have different font, right? It provide all the list of font, but some of font does not support it by the, you know, the browser does not support. Some browsers cannot support all the font. So we have some safe font, which every browser can support. So one of the safe font is this Microsoft Sans Serif. Another one is Arial. So if you go to the Word, you will see Arial, here, right here. This is also safe font. Okay, the reason we mention safe is because some of the software will not support certain font. Okay, like the fancy font, it probably your Chrome or Safari cannot support. So when we design our own HTML, we have to choose from the safe font, which every browser can support, right? You want every browser support, otherwise you will see something, ridiculous. So we have this list inventory that we're gonna have to change the color, the font color, which is the color inside of the list, and also with the background color. So we're gonna change two things. After we have the font change, we're gonna change the font color right here. The font color we're gonna choose as gray again. Now we want the box to be white smoke. So go to the back color, background color. Back color means background color. Under the web, now you will see white smoke. So your list box look like this. Okay. Next, I'm gonna move it a little bit higher. Next, we're gonna add another label. Sorry, not a label. We're gonna add a group. Okay, a group box which contains different buttons here. So we're gonna go to group box right here. So we can see here on the toolbox, there's a group box. We learn group box inside chapter 5 when you try to calculate the floor price. So group box, drag it right here. So this is a group box. But you can move here, move up, whatever you want. So the first thing we do is we're gonna change the name of the group box. Now, what is a group box? Group box means it can contain multiple objects from the toolbox. So because we do need, label, we do need buttons inside. So we have the name, we change as GRP group, depreciation type. Oh, this user interface take a lot of time, more time than I do, or maybe I just talk too much at the beginning. So we've finished, we do as much as we can today, then we do complete the user interface on Monday. So we have the name, which is group depression type. Then we're gonna provide the title. All you can see is the text. So go to the text part. Instead of group 1, we do have a title here. The title is select depreciation method. Okay, so we have text. Now we're gonna have to change the color. So we're gonna change the font, change the color of font, can change the background color. Oh, Peter, you want to go, right? So look like you want, yeah, tell you this still will be expensive, more expensive than the, you know, if you bring the food by your own, it's more cheaper.
Yeah.
So you go to here, go to the font, change the size to 10. Bold and click OK. Yes. So it's always good just buy some cereal bar, carry some cereal bar here. It's cheaper than buy from the food truck. And click color, make it gray again. Then we're gonna go to change the back color. I'm gonna go buy something.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go to the back color. So you're gonna go to the color, change to white smoke. Okay. So all the color we choose so far are under the web category. So this is what we have. Okay, so you see the name, the back color. Then we have the font, which is the same as before, Safari Bold 10, full color, which is gray, and the text should be select depression method. The next one, we're gonna add a button. So we're gonna drag a button. So from here, we choose a button, drag it right here. So we're gonna have to change the name, change the text, change the color, change the background color. So we're gonna change all those things to make it the text appear white in the orange red color. So first of all, we change the name. The name we're supposed to change is button BTN. Button what? Button calculate. Calculation. Calculate. So we have that. We have the name. Okay. Oh, I want to remind you again, you know, I know some of you guys missed a lot of class. Some of you guys think that you finish content, so you don't have to show up. But even if you finish, you still have to show up. So for those of you like the people who not come here today, I will still mark them absent, which will affect the grade. But seriously, this is a face-to-face class. Now you're supposed to be here Monday, Wednesday. Now we have the name here. I'm going to change text. Instead of button 1, we want to display it as calculate depreciation. Click enter. So probably not big enough. So we're going to drag it to display everything. But still later on, I'm going to drag it again because once we make font size 10 and we have different color, it's the size probably not enough. We had to adjust the size again. After we change the text, now we're going to go to the font. So it will be the same idea, same thing. Bold 10, sans serif, bold 10. Okay, so you can see here, obviously it's not big enough. So we're gonna drag a little bit more. And then we have to change the full color, which is font color. You want to make it white. White. Okay, it's like this because we haven't changed the back color yet. The back color should be orange red. So go to the top. Back color means background color. Okay, back color. We want orange red, which is okay. Did I miss sense? Right here. Okay, so you see, it looks like this. Okay, so right now, so we have this. Now, let's go to the next part, okay? After we have this, we do have the two labels, okay? One label is a result, another, two labels are results. Under the buttons, gonna choose, okay, someone you just email me. Label, we're gonna drag it, one more label right here. So it will just display the result, the label one, okay. Okay, we drag the label again. So this label, we're gonna change the name as, what's the name? Double click, LBL, label item. Okay, now we can change the font color. Okay, so we're gonna go to the font color, font, which is same as before. You want to be bold 10. Okay, you have same font as before, and you want the full color to be gray. So go to the full color, which is font color. You want to make it gray. Okay, then you want to do the, go down next. So we have text alignment, text and text. So here, because this is a label, you want to display result. So at this point, we don't have result yet. It's according to the book, we just type 30x. So 30 uppercase X. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So we have it, okay, 20, 30. So we have that. And we have a 30x. This is like placeholder. So later on, it will be replaced by the real result you want people to see. So after we have those X, we have put it like enough X to hold the place. The text alignment, we want to the text alignment will be form horizontal center. So we click that. This is a horizontal center. A media center. Oh, no, I don't want. So this one, top center. Form align, form horizontal center. 30.
30?
Text alignment, label. Okay, this alignment probably is not text alignment, it's a form alignment probably. So it's, let's see, the image alignment, middle center. It's not middle. Okay, so somewhere here we're gonna have to change the alignment. But it's not right here. Sorry, it's background color. So okay, so I'm gonna skip this part and we'll do that later. Margins, modify front padding size table. Okay, so we have that. So the next thing we do is we are going to make the visible become false. So which means we're gonna hide it. So we can make the visible become false. So if I run this, I should not be able to see this. Okay, so then we have 30x to do the placeholder. Okay. Format, horizontal spacing, center in the part. Okay, so actually what I can do is I can just click this one, go to the format, go to center, make it horizontal center. Oh, like this? No, it's probably not a good idea. So I just move it right here. So we have this label. Now we're gonna add one more label. We still have time. We're gonna do the last. We're gonna do the last one. Okay, I'm gonna do the last one, which is the LBL quantity. So the last one I will do for today, I will be the label, another label. drag it right here. I'm gonna change the name as click this name as LBL quantity. Okay, LBL quantity. Now you are going to change the, you're going to change the font. LBL quantity, this font will still be the same, bold 10. It still be bold 10. And the font color will still be gray. Under the web, you still will have gray. Okay, everything the same. Okay, you want to have the font color. Then you want to go to the text part, and you type. That tells you have 9x. So placeholder x 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You 9x right here, because it just display how many quantity number. Then last one, I will do visible equal to false. Okay. So it's time, so I'm not going to hold you again. So next class, we're going to finish this form and another form. Then we're going to start do the coding a little bit. As I said, I'm going to use next week to do the chapter 8 project, and the week of, the week of 10th, so which is May 9th and May 11th will be just hands-on time. Just you guys just come here to do your project. But you do know, no matter you finish the project or not, you're gonna have to show up. Okay, if you don't show up, I will mark you absent. More than 2 absent, I take 1 from you. So please come here, no matter what, just come here. Okay, thank you.